Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. All my socials are Lila Oceana. We're gonna be doing all the reset things for the new year. Go watch my last year's New Year's video if you haven't already. This year's video is a bit different. I'm talking a lot in this video about practical advice, but doing resets, structuring your time, organizing your goals is a great way to romanticize achieving those goals. Sometimes it can get overwhelmed by what they want to accomplish that they end up not taking any action. So we're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen to us, because in 2025 we are achieving goals even if they are small, because small goals will ultimately get us to the ultimate goal that we can feel is unattainable sometimes. The first thing we're going to be doing is a vision board. That always puts me in the right direction of what I want my life to look like. It kind of serves as a blueprint. This is my first vision board ever. This is dating us back to 2022, and then after that it pretty much became digital. So this is my 2023 vision board, and then here's my 2024 vision board, and we're going to be working on my 2025 vision board. A vision board is not going to guarantee any type of success. It is, again, just something to sort of set yourself up for what vision you're working towards, what you want your life to look like, and ultimately it will just help you go into that direction and not steer off. So whenever you're feeling unmotivated, this is something you could look back to and remember the goal, remember the blueprint, and remember what you're showing up for. Once you do accomplish your goals, I feel like you shouldn't hold off on happiness and fulfillment until then. You should let the journey fulfill you. So I have my Pinterest open right here. Let's create our vision board together. So the first thing I like to do when creating a vision board would obviously be to collect the photos you're gonna use for the vision board, and I like to get the photos that I use off of Pinterest just because they are always cute, and it always has a broad range of options when it comes to whatever it is that you searched for, and in a very creative way it shows oddly specific, perfect almost photos that you could use. I'm gonna be reading to you guys some level up tips that I came up with that have helped me on my quote-unquote leveling up journey and have just improved my mental health. This really started for me in 2022 when I started my YouTube channel. Here are all the timestamps of all the tips I'm gonna be mentioning, just in case you don't want to watch and sit through the whole thing. You could just skip to whatever tip you want to hear more about. The first tip is gonna be to have routines, and it doesn't need to be the same routine that you do every single day, because obviously things are gonna change depending on what you got going on. Just maintaining a sense of a routine. So this could be the gym, cleaning, doing your bed every morning, skincare. As long as there's some sort of routine and you showing up for yourself, that's what matters. It's very easy to fall off the train of consistency when you feel like oh no, like I didn't show up for myself today, like this just messes me up for the whole week. But I feel like you shouldn't let those little things get to you. You shouldn't be so hard on yourself, because as long as there's a consistency every week. Number 2 is reading books. I'll put some of my favorites on the screen, and I once saw this YouTube video of this guy talking about different self-development books and how they ultimately all have a similar message. So I'll make sure the books that I put are very different from each other. It does widen my perspective and help with feeling abundant, because it just reminds you of all the knowledge that's out there. This is not something to overwhelm yourself about. Just delve into what you're interested in. Read what makes you happy. You don't need to be reading the exact same books that everyone else is. There's people who don't like self-development books. Number 3, give yourself rewards. So for example, today when I was going to the gym, I really wanted to get myself a Starbucks, but I told myself like go after the gym, because I knew I wasn't gonna feel the greatest about myself if I just gave into like that instant craving. Maybe that's more of an example of delaying gratification. So maybe number 3 could be delay gratification and then reward yourself. Maybe once a month you treat yourself. It doesn't need to be like a daily reward thing, because that could in itself be bad. So like again, cater everything to your own needs. Number 4 is to dress up daily. It's very easy to stay in your athleisure, to each their own, but personally I have found that it does help when I romanticize like different things that I'm doing with different outfits. But basically what I'm saying is just don't stay in your pajamas all day, because then you will feel like you're just having a slumber all day. This is a small detail that goes a long way, whether that be dressing up or doing your hair. I do think that your hair should have some sort of importance when it comes to your productivity. I know that I'm probably not going to want to go out and do my errands if my hair's all crazy. Try this out for a week, write it down if there is a difference or not, and you will most likely end up sticking to this habit of dressing up. For example, you can have a study outfit, a gym outfit, a coffee shop outfit, cleaning outfit, day in outfit, grocery store outfit. Number 5 is to keep a calendar, whether that's monthly, weekly, yearly. Make sure you're keeping track of your habits, goals, accomplishments, because whenever I don't keep a calendar, I tend to lose track of time. You can also use the calendar to like set up dates and just making time for certain activities, and just not forgetting about yourself too. Like this doesn't just have to be towards the outer world. Like you can have scheduled dates to staying at home and have a self-care day and filling your cup however it is that you fill your cup, because everybody is different. Number 6, plan a solo trip at least once a year. This doesn't have to be anywhere crazy, like to a different country. It could just be to another city. The point would be to get out of your current environment, see different things, things. It could be custom to your own price range. Just the concept of taking a solo trip and spending time with yourself, it will increase your confidence, because when you're out, you're gonna have to completely rely on yourself, plan things for yourself, and I think that's what confidence is, knowing who you are. Taking solo trips will reaffirm everything that you think you know about yourself, because you will realize things about how you react to certain things when you're alone, what you're thinking when things happen. Just going to a new environment is going to increase your sense of abundance, because you realize that there's so much more going on out here than what you see every single day, and it just serves as a reminder and motivator to achieve your goals. You aren't stuck in your current reality. There's so many opportunities out there. Number 7 is declutter, because whether you know it or not, old objects do hold old energy. It's not just objects that you should be decluttering. It could be objects, clothes, your social media following, apps, your laptop. Just holding on to old energy is preventing you from attracting new energy. You need to make space in your life for new things to come in. If you want a new reality, you do have to get rid of your old one. Number 8, this one isn't a physical thing. It's more of an internal shift, which is to get new hobbies. Fill up your time doing things that you love and that just fulfill your soul. Leveling up is not just about looking better, but also about feeling better. And when you're in the process of accomplishing things or finishing tasks, especially when it's a hobby that you love, your brain is going to be releasing dopamine. Number 9, on the subject of getting rid of old energy, quitting, or to make it easier, gradually stop any habits that aren't serving your future self, something that you don't see your future self doing, your ideal future healthy leveled up already self, because in the long run these small habits do matter, because they're either killing your confidence or making you have less self-belief in terms of your goals and in general everything. Even if it is something as small as you not keeping any sort of routine, you not having any sort of routine, if that's something that your future self cannot afford, then you need to set up routines that are going to get you to where you want to be. It could be as simple as fasting, doing your bed, or it can even be the opposite. Start doing the things that you've been putting off. And lastly, journal. This ties into number 6 with the whole planning a solo trip, because journaling is going to help you get to know yourself, and confidence is knowing who you are. If you're living on a day-to-day basis with learning who you are through other people, this is going to leave some sort of dependency and insecurity with how you're showing up and how you're perceived, and anxiety around that topic of who you are. So just make sure that you are telling yourself who you are, and instead of other people. I know this is a corny cliche quote that you've probably already seen on Pinterest: show them who you are, don't let them tell you, but it is very, very true. It is an affordable alternative to therapy. On the topic of journaling, that is what we're going to be doing next, and I'm going to be delving in on all reflection prompts. I did get my degree in psychology, so I am a little bit knowledgeable in that field. I will be inserting some of my psychology into the whole topic of journaling that we're about to get into. So I have my journal here. I'm going to quickly read you guys yearly reset prompts I asked myself last year. So this year I want to ask myself new prompts, ones that are really going to dig at my brain. For last year's reset prompts that I used were: if I could have one wish, what would it be? What does the new year mean to you? How did you handle difficult situations? How have you self-developed? What are you leaving behind? What specific intentions do you have? What qualities are you bringing into the new year? Major lessons / accomplishments in the past year. Is this year sanity to see past? What are some specific manifestations? And what does the new year idealistically look like to you? Now for the prompts I'm going to be using this year, I was actually searching up on Pinterest for inspiration towards what questions I want to ask myself, and this is a picture that I came across. The title of this page starts off with: who is she? Journal out who you want to become in 2024 and be that girl. You guys can pause to read all the prompts. Quickly made myself a matcha. I have written down the questions that I'm going to reflect on this year. And what are her wellness habits? What are her boundaries? Where is her focus? How do people treat her? Whom does she aspire to be like? What does she spend her free time doing? Lessons she learned in 2024. What brought her the most joy in 2024? What qualities does she want to embrace in 2025? New hobbies to try / continue. Be in touch with creativity. Short-term losses willing to accept / bad habits that will be dying in 2025. How can she make life more meaningful now? Her core values. Her inner dialogue. When is she most inspired, motivated, and charged up? And lastly, what is she passionate about? You should have intentions set before you do anything, so that you know what you're working towards. And when it comes to journaling, my intention with that is to learn who I am, explore myself within. Ultimately, this will make you more confident, because confidence is knowing who you are, and there's no right or wrong questions to pick from. Choose the ones that make the most sense to you and that you can really dive deep in. To give you guys some ideas on what exactly the question is asking. I'm gonna quickly touch on my answers that I wrote. I won't go through all of them for the sake of time. What brought me the most joy in 2024? And this is gonna be useful for what I'm gonna be spending my time doing in the new year. Traveling, dressing up, and just taking pictures. As much as I love to live in the moment, I love to capture the moment, I do tend to forget things pretty easy. But when I have it in picture form, I engrave that memory in my head more. And dressing up has seriously been one of my favorite things this year. Just learning about what I like in fashion really makes me happy. It makes me learn more about myself because I do think that fashion is a form of self-expression. Second question I want to share, where is her focus on creating a life that I love? One of the questions that I wrote down, which was how do people treat her, I ended up writing in the answer box more like how do I treat others, because how others behave is out of my control, and it's basically just core values slash qualities that I like to uphold and embrace and ultimately just like to see in others. And for the little box where I asked myself what are her core values, I did have to look up on Pinterest words and terms to give myself ideas on what answer I was looking for. I had some ideas, but I was like, does that even mean what I think it means? One of the other questions I asked myself, what am I most inspired, motivated, and charged up by? And basically my answer for that was after a gym session, I feel really energized. For example, today in the morning, I was feeling very cozy, lazy, like I just wanted to stay in bed and be all covered up. I knew that that was not the direction that I wanted to lead my day with. I changed, got ready, went to the gym because I knew that I was gonna be having a shift in my energy where I just felt more productive for the day. And that's gonna be all for today's video. I hope you guys learned something new because there's so many videos nowadays on YouTube around the same level up topics. Most things are reworded differently. I myself am a culprit of probably sounding like I'm repeating what every other video is saying out there, but I hope something stood out that I particularly said or reinforced something in your head that you've already heard before. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and follow me on all my socials at Lila Oceanaa, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!